Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and we're coming to you from the front room of a retired 87-year-old senior, and looking at all the shenanigans that's going on in Ottawa there at supposedly our headquarters of the federal government. It kind of makes me wonder, and wondering a lot of other people wondering why our Prime Minister and the people are being accepted in these positions because of the Mr. Nice Guy effect. And I think it's time that we start doing things like they do in business. Now, in business, if you're going to be a doctor, you must be trained. You must go to a medical college and take some training, and some of those training years went into 10 years. So if you're going to be a surgeon and you're going to be operating on people's bones and on their organs and repairing people, you must be skilled and qualified. You must have graduated and also attend a university and taken some very extensive training and taken some training in a hospital, working underneath other trained surgeons who you learn from. And it seems like what happens, though, when we get into this election thing, we get in this big frenzy. So all of a sudden, somebody throws his hat in the ring, and he's been a nice guy. Maybe he ran a golf course or something, and he's pretty well known. And he's chosen mainly because he's got the nice guy effect. But the nice guy effect doesn't work when it comes to qualifications. Now, if you're going to be a welder, you have to have welding tickets, and you earn those by going to a college, a vocational school, and you learn all the skills required to do those kinds of things. And if you're going to manage a big company, you must have taken some management skills to direct the people and also be selected by the company to have some very serious management training. Now, I think it's about time as taxpayers that we turn around to the government and say, look, we want to see a job description for every one of the politicians that's holding a position. So that means to say, if you're going to be in charge of health care, you can't be somebody that's been a cab driver and been well liked for a number of years. You must hold the qualifications for one of the finest surgeons or doctor in communicable diseases or any disease that he's going to be responsible for policing. Now, being a nice guy at the top doesn't work because you have to have somebody who has background training. And because don't forget, these guys are being influenced by the guys that come from the drug companies. Salesman walks in with a whole suitcase full of drugs and says to the healthcare specialist, "Oh, these are new drugs now. They're out, and they'll cure this, and they'll cure that, and they'll cure this and cure that, but we have no proof." So that the person who's going to be in charge of any section, it doesn't matter whether it's forestry or whether it's water rights or medical or surgeons and hospitals and stuff like that, care homes, it must be somebody who has had demonstrated training. That means we probably have to set up a job description saying that this person that we're going to select for this job must have minimum college education, vocational school training, and if it's in a medical position where there's management involved, must have management skills training, and must have at least 10 years of good experience on the job site, proven experience working for some company, where he got a letter of recommendation from somebody that owned the company. But it seems like we're operating with the Mr. Nice Guy operation. So we get a Mr. Nice Guy in charge, and then he's got a bunch of friends that they play pool together, golf together, and all of a sudden they get appointed to a job because they got a friend as the Prime Minister. No, that doesn't cut it. We need to have some skills training. Skills training are achieved by being technically trained by somebody who's got lots of experience in the field and also employed as an instructor in a proper medical school facility with certified training, and must serve an apprenticeship of 5 to 10 years training in a university education center or in some leading healthcare center or surgery center where they've picked up a lot of knowledge and training and skills with demonstrated capabilities. The Mr. Nice Guy thing won't work anymore that way. Just because we know somebody and they're a pretty good guy and he's been a golf buddy or something like that, you still have to have the medical and the skills training. Now, the doctors in the field have to do that. Now, all our physicians and specialists in the field have to have that. So there's no reason why we should have somebody up above them in the federal government who's calling the shots for them. So we got the blind leading the trained, and the person that's in charge of a section, it doesn't matter whether it's the healthcare department or the water rights department or forestry or whatever, must have some qualifications and some demonstrated skills and have served an apprenticeship in the program that they're going to be directing. Otherwise, they're being misled. They can be misled too easily. We're finding that out now about guys are getting all kinds of contracts for thousands and thousands and millions of dollars, and they don't even have a decent company performed or arranged. So it should not happen that way. We should have a politician at the top of the pile who has, for that section, all the skills required and served the apprenticeship time required for the position to know where they're at. So he can provide some leadership for the doctors. And he would also know whether the doctors are being hired that meet the qualifications, because he would know, because he has to go through the same exercise. So it's time we tightened up our leadership skills and requirement for anybody who's running for a leadership position in the government operation. It doesn't matter whether it's provincial, federal, or whatever. Need to have that leadership training and demonstrated skills served by proven apprenticeship programs, so they have the knowledge of the section that they're going to be looking after. So have yourself a great time, and let's get some discussion going. Time to tighten up and get better education at the top.